Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. This is the only show in the metro area that talks about real estate construction, real estate development, and also business, restaurants, retail, really anything related to making Omaha more vibrant, more prosperous, and perhaps a little bit bigger. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym, as well as Dingman's Collision Center, Best of Omaha Award winner for metro area locations. And without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a famous real estate deal maker at NAI NP Dodge, Trenton Magid.
Hi.
Well, with that start, let's talk about something that's really important. We have a Grow Omaha restaurant review this week. We do them every 2 weeks. Chris Corey is our food critic. And this week, Chris takes a look at Jewel on Capitol. That's the jazz club inside the Marriott Capitol District in downtown Omaha.
Very cool venue.
You know, I have been in it, but I've never seen a show.
Really? And you've never eaten there, obviously.
No, yeah. And but I'm glad you said eat.
Good drinks, too.
Well, and Chris talks quite a bit about those cocktails in the review, and I'm glad you mentioned eating because a lot of people think, oh, that's a jazz club, but according to the review, the food, which a lot of small plates, kind of elevated upscale small plates, sound like the food was pretty good.
It offers unique entertainment, and it's different each time. Different types of music, different combos and things like that. But I encourage everybody to check it out. It's not something you think about all the time. It's inside the Marriott, but you got to go.
And the Grow Omaha Eats are all brought to you by Allmakes, which is the office furniture and technology company located on Farnham Street in downtown. Allmakes also has locations in Lincoln, Des Moines, Iowa, and several other Nebraska cities. And we appreciate Allmakes making that possible. You can see all of Chris's Grow Omaha Eats reviews, including the one that just came out Thursday, by going to growomaha.com. On the navigation bar, click on reviews. You will see Eats and Flicks. Eats are the restaurants, Flicks are the movies. We do those too. And you can read all your reviews. And after you read them, you're going to be pretty darned hungry. Well, with that, we're going to go into our news of the week. Thank you to Eagle Mortgage for making this possible. Holly Schneidwin and her team at Eagle Mortgage do an outstanding job of taking care of you when you're going to get your next piece of the American dream. That's particularly relevant right now. We're right at the beginning of spring, and that is big home. Once you get to spring and into the summer, it is big home buying season. And if you're thinking about doing that, one of the most important and smartest things you can do is sit down with a mortgage broker at Eagle Mortgage and talk to them about your situation. They'll match you up with the best lending situation. Eagle Mortgage is not a bank. They're a mortgage broker. So they get to shop a variety of banks and find the one that's right for you. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. All right, Trenton, let's get into the big news of the week, and that is, in the spirit of the name Grow Omaha, Omaha is growing. For the first time ever, the Omaha metropolitan area has more than 1 million people. And on this show, we have been waiting for this for a very long time.
21 years to be exact.
21 years we've been talking about passing 1 million people. It's finally happened. 1,001,010. That just proves that if you're going to pass 1 million, each and every one of you counts. So stay here. Don't move away and attract your friends and family because we're going to want to keep growing. Some people say, gosh, Omaha's already too big and I don't want more people. We already have enough traffic. But I think people have to remember that a city that is not growing is literally dying. And so we have to constantly focus on growing, even if you think, oh boy, I don't know how big we want to
grow. You want to grow the right way, Jeff. And just for further clarification, that 1 million plus people is 8 counties. Is that 4 in Council Bluffs or 3 in Council Bluffs and 5?
There's no county in Council Bluffs, actually.
In Iowa,
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, 3 counties in Iowa and 5 on the Iowa side. In fact, let me break it down a little bit for you, Trenton, because your question is a nice segue. Of the 1,001,000 people in the metro area, 878,000 of them live on the Nebraska side, and 123,000 of them live on the Iowa side. Now, Douglas County, which is the heart and center of the metro area, that's where Omaha is located.
600,000.
Yeah, in fact, to be exact, 601,158. So that's the first time Douglas County has been over 600,000 people.
So we got that going for us.
Which is significant because in terms of land mass, Douglas County is the second smallest county in the state of Nebraska, but by far the most populated. Now, Sarpy County, which is a key part of the metro area, Bellevue, Papillion, La Vista, Gretna, Springfield, Sarpy County now has 204,828, so well over 200,000. Pottawatomie County, which is the home of Council Bluffs, has 93,500 people. And then there's some smaller counties, like we've said, a couple more in Iowa and a couple more in Nebraska that add up to the metro area. All right, Trenton, why is it important to have over 1 million people?
For national grants and recognition, and so we can brag about it on Grow Omaha.
And a lot of companies that are looking for site selection, particularly in the retail, entertainment, and restaurant industries, won't consider metropolitan areas that are under 1 million people. So our hope and our thinking and the likelihood is that you should start to see a higher level of some of those big brand businesses targeting the market.
And Omaha proper has how many people?
Omaha proper is just a shade under 500,000. Later this year, the Census Bureau will release estimates for city population. And my guess is the city of Omaha, if it's not over 500,000 this year, it'll be within a whisker. Very, very close. Now, also, one other thing about population before we press on. These estimates are as of July 1st of last year. There's always a lag. You know, the Census Bureau, it's a government agency, so they're not known for moving at the speed of light. But aside from that, it's a look back, and it takes a long time to calculate the population of every state and every county and every city. So really, we're well over 1 million now because this is last July's number.
I thought it was brilliant. It sounds like the current administration, rather than hiring 600,000 or so census takers, they're going to use the post office, and they're going to use postal carriers to count the citizens. And it makes sense to me, and it probably saves a lot of money.
I did not know that. Well, we also had another big news item this week. Green Slate Development has announced that it will build a $45 million 5-story building on the site of the old WOWT television studio, 35th and Farnham Street in the Blackstone district along the future streetcar line. Now, WOWT vacated that building when they moved next door a couple years ago into the ground level of the Blackstone Plaza building. That's the 15-story building, famous for having Warren Buffett's office inside of it.
Used to be Kiewit headquarters.
This new building will have 180 apartment units, 90 indoor parking stalls, and market rate apartments. Really nice addition. They're going to have $5 million in tax increment financing if it is approved by the planning board and the city council, which it most certainly will be. But this is yet another example of a major project going on the streetcar line. We know that the streetcar line is one of the most fiscally responsible, taxpayer-friendly ways of funding a public transit project in United States history. We know that because at Grow Omaha we have studied several of the other projects in the other cities. And we know that within 15 years of it opening, so let's say which is really going to be like the early 2040s. By the early 2040s, we need to have like $2.5–3 billion worth of construction in that 10-block corridor either side of the streetcar in order for the financing mechanism to work. So we've got 15 years in order for that to happen.
It's way ahead of schedule.
We're already way over halfway there. So it's a no-brainer. It's a slam dunk. And it's another example of the brilliance of the way Omaha has set up the streetcar system. We're getting billions and billions of dollars of real estate development. We're getting more economic activity. We're getting an urban transit line. And we're going to get a hell of a lot of retail, entertainment, bar, and restaurant stuff in the urban core. And the real estate developers are paying for it. And the projects just keep coming and coming and coming. We know here at Grow Omaha, we are privy to certain things that we can't tell you about yet.
There's a project
There's
right
more
around
projects
there
coming.
that another headquarters for a local company is going to relocate right around there. Where would that be, do you think?
Well, originally I was thinking it might actually be on that site,
Yeah,
the
that's
one
what I
you're
thought.
talking about. But we're waiting to see exactly where they locate. But we are privy to a handful of projects that should be announced within the next year on that Harney-Farnham corridor. Stay tuned. Exciting stuff. All right. That is your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. Eagle Mortgage Company, eaglemortgagecompany.com to be exact. Going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to bring on our good friend Craig Wolf. You know him. He is the owner of Cheer Athletics and a frequent contributor, guest co-host here on the show. He's bringing in his colleague Jeff Week, who is an expert specialist consultant in sports facilities and sports facility development. We're going to talk about youth sports and the billions of dollars it generates and what it could do for Omaha and for Nebraska, a big part of our economic development plan. Stay with us. You're listening to Jeff Beals sitting next to Trenton Magid. It's Grow Omaha. We're on News Radio 1110 KFAB, and we're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid sitting here in the KFAB studio high above Underwood Avenue, bringing you Grow Omaha. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Funny I should mention Cheer Athletics because we have the owner of the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym with us here today, a man I have known since kindergarten at Loveland Elementary School.
The glory days.
Can I say the 1970s?
Yeah, you can age us. That's okay.
Been a while. 1974, kindergarten, Loveland Elementary School. Craig, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be back on with you guys. And, I'm sitting here thinking this morning, Trenton, Jeff always does such a great job interviewing you or introducing you. You need like a Robin Williams, Good Morning Vietnam kind of call sign, right?
I let him be the big voice guy.
Good morning,
Since he does
Vietnam.
since he does most of the work on the show and everything, I don't want him to think. I don't want to outshine him.
Okay. Well, you're very funny, and people just need to know that. But
Now you're making us both fat-headed, Craig. But Craig, we first of all appreciate you being a sponsor of Grow Omaha, and we're very impressed with everything that you and your business partner, your wife Tiffany, are doing with Cheer Athletics. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you are just into youth sports, period. Yeah, you have a business, Cheer Athletics. Yeah, you have AEF Basketball Academy. But youth sports, even beyond your two businesses, have become a passion for you. And from our Grow Omaha economic development advocacy position, we applaud you for that because we know that youth sports are a huge industry. And kind of our theme today is that Nebraska is missing out on its share of the youth sports industry, and we need to do more to tap into this, gravy train that's out there. But first of all, start off a little bit by telling us what drives your passion for youth sports and how big the industry is.
sure. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk a little bit about this. And, yes, I'm a owner of 2 youth sports organizations, but more than anything, I'm a voice for kids. And being in the youth sports world, I've gotten an opportunity to get to know and talk to a lot of other leaders in the youth sports area, whether it's baseball, soccer, basketball, hockey, volleyball, even tennis. And as I talk to these people and listen to parents that are in those sports, that have athletes in those sports, or that parents that have athletes in those sports, they all say, we don't have facilities. And I could, we could go into deep detail, but for time's sake, let me just lay the groundwork for how big this industry is. Back in 2008, it was a $10 billion industry, youth sports. In 2024, the youth sports industry was a $44 billion industry, and these stats are coming from Metastat. It's projected to go to $86 billion by 2031. And why is youth sports so important? I think we all kind of know these, but I'm just going to lay those out there. It keeps kids off their phone, keeps them active.
Minecraft.
It's structured environment. They learn teamwork. life skills above all, right? How to overcome adversity in those challenging moments. So it's a great opportunity with the right mentors. But then for the great citizens of Nebraska, there's an opportunity here by lawmakers investing into sports facilities that we can bring in revenue, outside revenue. I'll give you an example. The Slump Buster tournament that is around the College World Series should be America's biggest baseball tournament because it's a celebration of baseball here with 8 teams from around the country. Everybody comes to Omaha.
Is that 80 or 8?
8 teams.
I thought there's a ton more, but okay.
No, in the College World Series.
In the College World Series.
Oh, I thought you were talking the Slump Busters is like
So the
100
College
teams.
World Series brings 8 teams, but the Slump Buster on social media boards out there, if you go on them, there is a lot of negative feedback because Omaha just doesn't have baseball fields. I have a friend of mine who plays youth baseball. His Nebraska State baseball tournament is played in Iowa. And so when you look at youth sports as a whole, there is just such an opportunity for lawmakers to be educated as they have a responsibility, I believe, to the citizens of Nebraska to invest in the next generation and use our tax dollars that we pay a lot to Nebraska, right? That those tax dollars should be into sports facilities where we can help offset our tax base as well and give our next generation of kids an opportunity to learn a lot of things. Cooperstown Village in New York, they have a baseball tournament, brings in $95 million to the local economy. And so, this is just something I'm really passionate about. I've teamed up with Jeff Week, who's here in the studio this morning, and I want Jeff to talk about his mission. He's been in this a lot longer than I have. Together, I think we're starting to educate lawmakers. We've had meetings in Lincoln, but we need the public behind this. That is such an opportunity, especially parents with athletes.
And Jeff is the owner of EMJ Consulting, which specializes in sports feasibility and economic development. And Jeff, we appreciate you being here. Why don't we start off our chat with you about maybe you can just talk quickly about what you do and a little bit about where we're at with youth sports in Nebraska today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is an important topic to kind of get out among the people, your listeners. We in Nebraska have a very unique situation. In May of 2021, LB 39 was passed. It's the Sports Arena Facility Financing Assistance Act, SAFFAA, as it relates to sports complexes. Each community has a level of participation they need to get involved with. So bigger cities like Omaha need to provide 12 to qualify. But what you get to do is create a 600-yard district around your sports complex and collect the state sales tax. Not all of it, 70% of it, that would come back. But not existing, only new. So when I say new, that means if we're going to build a complex or develop a complex, we need to get a development partner with us and have them bring a hotel or fast food or strip retail that would generate sales tax so we can pay for not all. I mean, in crazy terms, you could get all of it paid for, but it's not going to be paid for. It's going to be a minimal amount. Then you have to get a vote of the people. You have to get the bond that the city would issue backed and sold, vetted. So, there's lots of hoops to jump through. Right now, we have 2 projects basically sitting on the governor's desk. One is in Norfolk. The other one's a different kind of project, but Norfolk is the one that I'm currently working on. And the governor needs to give, with his 5-member panel, governor plus 4 others, need to give a temporary approval so we can actually go to the citizens and make sure that they're okay with how we would do it. The applications are usually done by a co-applicant, a political subdivision like a city or a county, and a not-for-profit organization.
So what Jeff is talking about is referred to as turnback financing. And we're going to get into a little bit about this and how it can help Omaha and Gretna and Papillion and all these towns in Nebraska build bigger and better and greater sports facilities so we can tap into this multi-billion-dollar industry. But we've got to break for the news first. So we're going to do that. And when we come back, more with Jeff Week and Craig Wolf about making Nebraska a bigger and better youth sports facility destination and maybe any sort of barriers or threats that might be out there on the way to accomplishing that. So you're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid here. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center. Dingman's has locations in Northwest Omaha, 120th and Maple, downtown Papillion, 144th and Industrial, and on Saddle Creek Road in Midtown. It's time for your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, which is brought to you by, well, Noddle Companies. And they are an outstanding firm that is famous for doing big-time projects all over the metro area. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about corporate headquarters like Valmont or HDR, or if you're talking about real estate developments like the Builders District in North Downtown, Exarban Village, or so many others. Noddle Companies has done many of them over the years. Well, during this report, we talk about happenings in or around various Noddle Company project areas, and got a couple of them we want to highlight this week. We have out in Gretna, Noddle Companies is doing a 31-acre mixed-use project in the Gretna Landing Broader project. This is northwest of Highway 370 and 192nd Street. As part of that project, there will be a 131,000 square foot office building plus retail, restaurant, and housing. Good news, that passed a hurdle in the Gretna City approval process a couple weeks ago and is moving forward.
Think just west of Hy-Vee, the new mega Hy-Vee.
The world's biggest Hy-Vee and amusement park. Then meanwhile, Exarban Village, Godega Market is opening a second location in the former Zoop space, Z-O-U-P, Zoop. That's no Zoop for you.
In the HDR building.
Ground level, yep. And that is going to be second location of Godega Market. What is Godega Market? Really cool coffee shop.
Wine, gifts.
Yeah, you can pop in. It's kind of part deli, part coffee shop, part little convenient grocery store, kind of upscale. And the original one is at 11th and Howard in the Old Market. I've been there a few times. Great place. It'll be a nice addition to Exarban Village. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your Noddle Companies Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. Find out more about Noddle Companies by going simply enough to noddlecompanies.com. Well, we have Craig Wolf, owner of Cheer Athletics, with us and one of our key sponsors of Grow Omaha. And he was teamed up with Jeff Week, who is the owner of EMJ Consulting, a consulting firm that specializes in sports feasibility and sports economic development. And Jeff, we're going to continue with you. When we left off, we were talking about turnback financing, a relatively new concept in Nebraska, a few years old, designed to help us develop sports facilities and allow Nebraska to tap into the multi-billion-dollar youth sports industry. But Jeff, turnback financing is catching a little bit of heat right now. Why is that? And is it related to our state of Nebraska budget shortfall?
Well, it really is. It's interesting where the governor is looking at things that can be cut. So we need all the sales tax we can get. It's really important. But we framed this law when it passed in May of 2021 so that only new retail that comes within the turnback district gets captured by the complex. That's what's unique about it. We wouldn't take incremental or anything outside, even though the sports complex would be a destination for people outside the city or the county. We don't get to capture it. So as an example, we have a project in Norfolk. Norfolk has a 600-yard district. We have an application into the governor. They're worried that we would lose sales tax because there's a Walmart next door. But guess what? We don't get the Walmart. We've never calculated the Walmart. But when people come to that district, they will be shopping at the Walmart. It is inevitable. So The point is, it's an earned incentive, and I've said it repeatedly. This is a unique situation where it's earned. You have to bring your team there, and if your team can't perform, then guess what? You don't have anything. And if you can't sell the bond, if or the lease agreement doesn't work, we have a Department of Revenue. It's not economic development; it's revenue, and we want to make sure that we provide enough vetting so that nobody's on the hook. I mean, we do something smart. Now, there is an aspect of this law that got passed last year where a smaller city, like a second class or a village, can actually use 5 years of the sales tax from the city limits. Ashland is working on a project. Valley has a project. We've heard of projects in West Point and some other smaller communities. Well, the point of that would be you have 5 years. It's going to help the community because we're filling these sports complexes with kids in our communities. That's what's important to me. Monday through Thursday use, the weekend tournament use is economic development, and that's going to come. But ultimately, we're serving our own kids. To me, that's the reason the bill is, or the law is the law.
And so if we have any pressure or any heat that youth sports or the turnback financing mechanism is facing right now, it almost seems like it might be short-term thinking, being penny wise and pound foolish, in that some people are saying, well, maybe we could save a little bit of money right now, but when you think about the benefit that we have for developing youth sports facilities at a relatively low cost, it seems like a really responsible way of growing what we have in our quality of life without making a big burden on the taxpayers.
So if we make a cut, so say the governor decides, hey, I'm not going to put these through because we're going to save the sales tax. And Craig will attest to this. We have a project in Gretna where he has 2 projects and associated. You want to step in here and say what you're going to do in Gretna? I mean, he has 2 hotels, an event center, he has restaurants, and he has 2 youth sports complexes. We're not going to pay for all of the sports complexes, the not-for-profit that would own the asset. But guess what? We're going to have all that stuff come. If Craig doesn't come, or we can't get that earned incentive, then the hotel and the event center and all the other stuff, it's dirt. Craig has dirt. Yeah. So it's kind of like, give us the chance to show that we can do it. Don't stop it before we even get the chance to prove that we can actually do it, if that makes sense.
And so owning the 2 clubs, we have to have facilities, right? So we have 2 buildings, and I lease both the buildings, one for basketball, one for cheer. My payment to the lease companies for combined payout is $41,000 a month. It is insane. That's what I'm paying out of pocket, and what my parents have to pay to help me sustain that. I mean, we're really today a not-for-profit because out of you have the $41,000, but then I have to pay the staff.
You're talking about your student athletes' parents.
The parents.
Your parents. Yes. I don't think are still paying you.
Yeah, okay. Correct. But we have to pay for tournaments in basketball. We have to pay for competitions in cheer. We have great staff at both AEF as well as cheer. And, they deserve to be well paid because we need great coaches to invest in kids. And so
let me add one other thing. The reason this tool helps the sports world and the not-for-profits that do it is because we're at market or below on registrations and on fees and on admissions. If we don't have that extra a little bit of help that we need, then ultimately you're going to have the same pricing you have at some of these for-profit entities. We don't want that. We want to break down the barriers and let every kid play. The governor sent out a great press release about girls basketball, the state tournament for girls basketball, and how important that is. We believe that too. We just need to get on the same page and help them understand that this is the responsibility of the political subdivision and the state to at least help. If it doesn't impact property tax or raise taxes in a community, there is no reason why we shouldn't be given the chance to prove that we can do what we can do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in perpetuating and growing and protecting youth sports and making Nebraska more competitive, talk to your elected officials and let them know how important it is to you. But with that said, Craig Wolf and Jeff Week, we appreciate you guys joining us, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. This is really important to the state of Nebraska.
That's Craig Wolf from Cheer Athletics, along with sports feasibility and economic development consultant Jeff Week. Going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, you know what that means. It's the lightning round. I'm looking at the list, and there are a lot of things on it. You don't want to miss any of it. Stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. It's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things really fast. And we want to thank Perkins Kreitzer for making this possible. They are an outstanding Class A general contractor. And make no bones about it, Perkins Kreitzer Construction can do big projects. Don't be fooled, because so often, because it's the lightning round and we love to talk about retail and restaurants, we talk about retailers and restaurants that Perkins Kreitzer is working on, like Hawaiian Brothers in Miracle Hills, and like a variety of different Jersey Mike's stores, and the Barnes & Noble store that's opening in Papillion Shadow Lake Town Center. All interior build-out retail restaurant type things that Perkins Kreitzer Construction does too. But they can also build you an office building, a church, a strip center, whatever it is you're looking for. You can find out more by going to p-cconstruction.com. All right, we got a couple things to start off with. First of all, we've been telling you for a long time that Meddy's, the Mediterranean restaurant out of Wichita, Kansas, was opening soon in Village Point. Well, they opened yesterday, was their soft opening, and might want to go give it a try.
The reports are good.
Rally Cap Brewing Company, a brewery from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They are going to open a craft beer tap room, very, very much baseball themed. It's a baseball themed, hence Rally Cap Brewery tap room. And they're going into the Nova, which is a 5-story mixed-use building under construction at 12th and Nicholas Street in Millwork Commons. That's within an outfield throw of Charles Schwab Field. And that building's going to have 74 apartments, but also 12,500 square feet of retail space. Rally Cap Brewing Company will have part of that. The building will be done about 1 year from now, and that's probably about the time Rally Cap
Sounds
opens.
like it's close to Dizzy Mule.
It is right across the street from the Dizzy Mule. And if you were wondering, is that related to LSU coming to the College World Series a lot? You would be absolutely correct. That's where it all stems
Great
from.
fans, even though I went to Tulane in New Orleans.
Betty Ray's Ice Cream will open a second Omaha location in Pepperwood Village near Karma Coffee. It is out of Kansas City. The original Omaha location is at 6307 Center Street, not far from Exarban Village. We have a freestanding Starbucks coffee building under construction near 195th and Highway 370 in Gretna. It is part of the Gretna Landing development.
That former coffee desert.
Just to the east of it, Aldi Grocery Store plans to open on March 19th, which is, I believe, Wednesday. First Round, which is a cool sports bar out of the Blackstone district, opening a second location in the former Cops Pizza building southwest of 180th and West Center Road. Trenton, we have a bubble tea and gelato shop known as, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, Yum Cha. YUMCHAA. It's at 1018 South 74th Plaza. They are rebranding as T101. T as in Trenton, T101.
I like to gurgle boba tea to stop hiccups.
Terra Gaucha, a Florida-based Brazilian steakhouse restaurant, is nearing its opening date in the former Charleston's restaurant building near 137th and West Dodge Road. This week, the Omaha City Council approved its liquor license. In that liquor license application, Terra Gaucha said the opening date is April 20th. to me, that seems pretty ambitious because when you drive by, they're working their butts off, but it looks like they have a ways to go. But we'll see. Sometimes they can, that last month before a restaurant opens, they can accomplish a great deal. This Omaha location of Terra Gaucha will be the 5th for this Florida-based restaurant. The others being in Jacksonville, Tampa, Indianapolis, and Stamford,
It's great that
Connecticut.
they pick Omaha, though.
Central Skate Shop held its grand opening March 7th at 2905 North 59th Street in Benson. Changed ownership. It originally had opened in May of 22, but apparently they've changed a few things around. Snooze Mattress Company, which is famous for the employees wearing pajamas for their uniforms, opened a second Omaha location in Rockbrook Village. The first one is in Shops of Legacy, 168th and Center. They're now up to 16 total locations in 9 states. After 38 years in business, the Market Basket is closing permanently. It did close permanently yesterday, owned by Liz Lykos. The restaurant was in the Loveland Shopping Center, 90th and Center. Prior to that, it had been in Countryside Village over by Westside High School.
Absolutely. It was a good place.
That was the end of an era. Opal Luxury Salon and Suites will open its second location by the end of March at 169th and Wright Plaza in the Shops of Legacy. Owned by 402 Permanent Cosmetics, the Spa Suites and Cosmetic Academy offers specialized beauty services and education. Opal's first location is at 181st and Chicago Street in the Elkhorn area. Camille's Bakery, a family-owned bakery in Countryside Village, will close March 22nd because of the rising cost of ingredients. We're hearing that story over and over again. That's a big problem. The bakery originally opened in 2019 and is known for savory offerings such as sweet potato tacos, quiche, and turkey enchiladas. Well, speaking of closings, a while back, Trenton and I told you about On the Border, which closed its only Nebraska location in Papillion. The exact address was 8810 South 71st Plaza. The whole company nationwide went BK. So
It's just a coincidence with the current national legislation for immigration.
And with that, we are done. Hope everyone has a great week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics, Dingman's Collision Center, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you next week at 9, right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.